Take a look at the top. We have Tony Parker and the bottom, Kawhi Leonard. Right now, I want you to make your pick. Who is going to make the game winner? If you chose Kawhi Leonard, you could be on your way to $1 million if you had the Moneyline app. Right now, click the link in the description and start winning cash daily on Moneyline. The San Antonio Spurs. One of the most consistent and respected organizations across all sports. When you think about the team and the players over the years, we usually assume that they're hardworking, team-oriented, high-character, great guys. But there was actually an incident that nearly destroyed the team, and it came from within their own organization. How's it going, fellas? My name's Andy, and today we're gonna take a look at a scandal that's been swept under the rug, and the main player involved was Tony Parker. We all know how important Tony Parker has been for his entire career. 6-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 2007 Finals MVP, 4 championships, and at one point, he was the best player on the Spurs when Tim Duncan got older. However, in 2010, near the beginning of the 2010-11 season, he was involved in a scandal that ended 2 different marriages. So for some context, Parker and Eva Longoria got married in 2007, and by 2010 they were still together, well, until November. On November 17th, Eva Longoria filed for divorce, stating that she found out Parker was cheating on her. And the person he was having an affair with was Erin Barry, who is the wife of former teammate Brent Barry. Alright, so this was a pretty big deal. Parker and Longoria were very close friends with Brent Barry's family. Barry even attended Parker's wedding, and they would celebrate their birthdays together as well. All 4 of them, Parker, Longoria, and Erin and Brent Barry, they all talked all the time, and hung out together very frequently. That made this whole thing even more messed up. They were really close friends. Parker even said that, quote, "We're like a family." After a while, it was reported that Parker and Erin were sending sexual text messages back and forth. Parker admitted to doing that, but he said that there was nothing physical involved in the affair. Yeah, from my point of view, it might have not seemed that bad, but it became a huge deal within the Spurs organization. Keep in mind, Brent Barry wasn't even on the team anymore, and he already retired from the NBA by 2010. But he was still very close with pretty much everyone on the Spurs. He was close with Popovich, Duncan, the training and coaching staff, other former teammates. He still hung out frequently at the facility whenever he was in town. The controversy between Erin and Parker became public, and a lot of Spurs players who knew them were pissed. A source stated that the Spurs staff is very upset and Pop would trade him if he didn't just sign that big deal. That made this whole situation very awkward. Around that time, Parker recently signed a 4-year, $50 million contract extension a week before the scandal broke out, which literally saved him from getting traded. If Parker got traded, it might have been over for the Spurs. In 2010, Parker was their second best player and sometimes looked like the best player on the team, and he was also a major factor in helping the team reach the finals in 2013 and 2014. There's also a real possibility that the Spurs would have never won their 2014 championship without Parker either. Imagine if he never signed that extension on time and Pop really did trade him away. It would lead to a huge snowball effect. After that, then the Spurs might have never pulled the trigger on the trade that sent George Hill to Indiana for Kawhi Leonard in 2011. And instead, they just kept George Hill as their new starting point guard, and Kawhi is no longer on the team. Obviously, this would snowball into a ton of more changes, but you get the idea. If this scandal became public just 1 week earlier, then we might be seeing a totally different Spurs team. Anyway, so the Spurs kept Parker and moved on from the situation. Unfortunately, Parker and Longoria would get divorced after 3 years of marriage. Brent and Erin would also get divorced after 12 years of marriage. According to Tammy Roman, a TV personality who was on the show Basketball Wives, she gave her thoughts on this situation. She claimed, "I would say at least 75% of the men in the NBA are not faithful to their wives, girlfriends, or whatever. To be involved with another teammate's wife, that's just like hands off. That really is disgusting." When describing Eva Longoria, she said, "Sometimes, having your own career and your own thing can be somewhat intimidating to certain men. She's the type of woman that is very self-sufficient and was financially independent before she married Tony. According to another source, both Parker and Barry's marriage were falling apart anyway, even before they started texting each other. It was just the final nail in the coffin. Either way, that pretty much sums it up. This story wasn't very crazy, but I think the fact that it led to Parker possibly being traded made it kinda interesting. It's amazing how, even though it's Tony Parker, one of the greatest Spurs ever, yet Popovich was still willing to trade him instantly because of this scandal. It says a lot about how much the organization values character and not having any drama. But it's an interesting what-if scenario to think about. Trading Parker in 2010 would have definitely led to a chain of events that would drastically change the outlook of the team. Probably not for the better either. Anyway, that's all folks. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed that video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.